Welcome back to another Spock Alberta update. Tonight we're running a fairly long train for Spock Alberta. It's got 6 cars on it, gondola, a little one of everything. 2 tanker cars, one of which is going to be designated for picking up crude oil and one of which is going to be designated for dropping off refined products in Spock Alberta yard. And we're going to show off the new solar park, which is going to be the majority of this update is going to be talking about the solar park and how I update the solar park, but we're going to take advantage of the new backdrop as well, which looks fantastic. So this is a sheet of styrene. It actually comes from a sign that used to be in our office, and I cut it into strips so that it was a little more usable. It's fairly thick, not wildly thick, but fairly thick. And I'm going to try the following. This is tape I bought at Michael's. So I think this might look like the silver lines that are on most solar panels. The gray is the sort of background, dark background, and then these are the, I guess, the electrical connections. We'll see how it works. And if you want to see what the exact packaging is, this is another one I bought. Kind of hoping that silver. Well, I need to put some edges on it. So let's see how it all works out. So this is the tape, and it is 6 scale feet wide. But I don't want this strip here on the edge. This little extra strip on the edge here. I don't think that's helping things. That to be about 5 scale feet wide. So we're going to cut a strip off the plastic here. It's about 5 scale feet wide. There's our strip from which we're going to cut the solar panels. So now we're going to cut off a strip that's of the tape that's roughly the right length. So this doesn't have to be too secure. And we're going to try and put the tape on carefully. And now we're just going to take the knife and cut off the excess. And that's our strip of solar panels. So here I've set up my micromark chopper, and I've set it for exactly 8 feet, and I've tested it with one that measured it afterwards. Just, whoops, oil gauge. Measured it afterwards. And that's 8 feet perfectly. So now we're just going to chop off a whole bunch of solar panels. So here we have a dozen solar panels, and now they need the frame that goes around the outside edge. So it turns out that the narrow tape had a problem, which I don't know if you can see here, but the glue was screwed up so it wouldn't stick, and on top of that it's too thin, so it would not, you couldn't get it to burnish down and fold over the edge of the solar panel like I wanted it to do. So stuck with using this, which is, like I said, it's about 1 foot too wide, scale foot too wide, but I think I've got a system now that that's going to make it work. So as you can see, I'm about halfway done. Got 6 done and 6 left to go. What you're looking at is on this side is the back. Here's the front without the frame. So this is what the difference is between. Let's get those lined up. One that's got a frame, one that doesn't have a frame. And then the backs were painted with a paint pen. Upside down. A paint pen. It was easier than getting out all the paraphernalia, and it dried relatively quickly. But we're about halfway done. So this is a great leap forward. Several steps. It wasn't so easy to do the filming. I decided that the painted backs looked not very good, and so I've put some more of the silver tape and got silver tape on the back. These all have frames. Perhaps more importantly, I've created a 4-panel set that corresponds to one of the larger solar panels which are in the picture of the solar farm. And I've created this quote-unquote system for mounting it. The rod is a piece of sprue, from fairly thick sprue, that's been covered with more of the silver tape. And these blocks at the end or holding it on are cut from evergreen styrene tubing, square tubing. They're about 1 scale foot wide. That's a bit wide, but anything smaller I think was going to be unstable. And so I've gone with that. And then these will mount onto this. This will be the upright portion. The mounting pin is at the bottom. This will be the upright portion. It needs to be painted. And then it'll sort of fit on, if you will, like that. So my concept for the rest of the small squares, if you will, or the individual panels, is to organize 6 of them, as you kind of see here, in a grid. And then they're going to go into a frame, which I've built already. It is silvered with the tape. This is made out of evergreen angle iron, and I don't think you can see that, but there's little gussets in the corner to try and reinforce the corners. And the idea is, it'll look kind of like that, and be up on legs, and to attach the individual panels, it'll be attached in lines, 2 lines, using something similar to what I used here. So here are the finished products. This is the large array with its ladder on the side and back detail, including a danger signs in different places, etc., etc. So I'm really quite pleased with that one. These are the standalones. So this is going to stand up like that, the large arrays, large standalones without the framing. And then these ones are the smaller ones that will be sitting, kind of closer to ground level, although that's still pretty tall. Feet basis, that's about 9 feet off the ground, so that's pretty up there. This one is, I think, about 25 or something. 25, yeah. These are about 25, so they're pretty high up. Anyway, I'm pretty pleased with that. And the last with those ones, and the last shot will be them placed on the actual scene. So when I got around to installing the solar panels on in the area where I was going to have the solar park, I decided that I should build a walkway between them. It would look more interesting visually. I could put some people on it, which would help give a sense of scale. And the park that I was copying in the prototype town had a walkway, benches, people walking, etc. Run B-roll here. The plan is to use some of these leftover ties from that I made for a number of projects: a wall, a planter, a pile of old railway ties in an empty lot. Use them as cross pieces. And then I created these weathered boards, which are going to be, that's a 16-foot weathered board by about 2 feet, a little less. That will be the planks of the wooden walkway. This was done using these really cheap popsicle sticks. I can't remember where I bought them, but I think at a dollar store. And this wash that I used to stain the ties, which is, it says here, it's half a teaspoon of India ink to 1 cup of alcohol. And it has a pretty nice effect. This is just one coating. This is one dip. And I think this looks pretty good, pretty much like weathered wood. If I wanted it darker, I could just keep dipping it, as I did with these bits of balsa wood, and it comes in darker. This looks a little more creosote, and this looks a little bit more like aged wood. So, plan goes well. This will get turned into a walkway. Okay, so this is going to be my attempt, and if this doesn't work, you'll never see this. So, if it does work, you will. So what I have here is 2 strips of masking tape, because I don't have very wide tape, and it's ordinary masking tape because we don't have the lovely blue low-tack stuff that's sold in North America. So this is 2 ordinary pieces of masking tape, and the idea is I'm going to stick the boards onto the masking tape, then put in the cross pieces, and then if all works well, I'll simply remove the tape, and we'll get a nice little walkway. And if some of the stain comes off with the tape, so be it. That'll be weathering. So here I have 2 sets of planks down. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get 4. And what I've used as a spacer between them is a piece of strip styrene. Now that's a little wide, and from a scale point of view, it's probably about 4 inches, which it wouldn't be in real life, but at least it'll be visible. I can make it narrower, and I may have to if I find the dimensions. Well, here it is assembled and waiting to dry. I'm going to let it dry for a good hour so that it's well dry, and then try and peel it off the tape. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so here's the completed deck. It looks great. The only thing that has to happen is that far edge over here is going to be along the tracks, so I think I'm going to have to put a railing on it. So here's some drone footage of the new solar park, and it's actually a combination solar park and railfan viewing stand. There's the deck. There's a guy enjoying himself on the park bench. Here's a couple getting closer together and enjoying the train going by. Hope they're both rail fans. That'll be just about it for this update, as the freight train goes behind the solar park. As always, you can like, share, make comments, love comments, and as always, live long and prosper.